$4.7 billion. That's more than most countries spend on their entire military. But it's just the price tag for 2 airplanes. Not just any planes, flying fortresses that could survive nuclear war. Yet there's a shocking twist involving a $400 million gift that changes everything. And wait until you discover which country's leader flies in complete invisibility. The current champion, Air Force One. America's flying fortress, $660 million of pure aerial dominance currently cutting through the skies. But here's what they don't tell you. This isn't even close to being the most expensive anymore. When that familiar blue and white aircraft touches down, world leaders know America has arrived. Inside, a mobile Pentagon, missile defense systems that can intercept attacks mid-flight, a medical bay equipped for open heart surgery at 40,000 feet. Communication systems so advanced they can coordinate nuclear responses while dodging enemy fire. The operating cost alone, $178,000 per hour. That's $3,000 every single minute those engines are running. Your annual salary burned through in 20 minutes of flight time. But here's the retention bomb I promised. Everything you think you know about Air Force One is about to be shattered because Boeing has already lost over $2 billion trying to build its replacement. And the final cost? We're talking about the most expensive aircraft project in human history. Yet somehow this engineering marvel is about to look cheap compared to what's coming next. The $4.7 billion game changer, the new Air Force One project. $4.7 billion for 2 aircraft. Let that sink in. That's more than the GDP of 53 countries combined. Boeing promised delivery by 2024. We're now in 2025, and they're not even close. Why? Because you're not just building airplanes, you're constructing flying cities capable of surviving World War III. These new Boeing 747-8s will make the current Air Force One look like a paper airplane. Advanced quantum encrypted communications, electromagnetic pulse shielding that could survive a nuclear blast, defensive systems classified at levels so high that even Congress members can't get briefings. But here's where it gets insane. Boeing has already recorded losses exceeding $2 billion on this project. They're hemorrhaging money so fast that shareholders are questioning if the company will survive. Why? Because when you're building aircraft for the leader of the free world, there's no room for corners to be cut. Yet here's the twist that nobody saw coming. While America burns through billions, another solution appeared from the most unexpected source. A gift so valuable it could change the entire game. But accepting it comes with strings attached that could reshape global politics forever. The Qatar wildcard $400 million, given away, for free. No invoice, no contract, no strings attached, at least on paper. In 2024, Qatar offered Donald Trump a Boeing 747 previously owned by their royal family. The catch? Converting this luxury aircraft to presidential standards could cost over $1 billion. That's right, the gift is free. But making it Air Force One worthy costs more than most nations' entire air forces. Why would Qatar make such an offer? Because in Middle Eastern geopolitics, gifts this expensive are never truly free. They're investments in influence, access, and strategic partnerships. The aircraft itself is stunning. 350 feet of pure luxury engineering. Royal bedrooms with gold-plated fixtures. Conference rooms lined with Italian marble. Entertainment systems that cost more than luxury homes. But converting royal luxury into presidential security? That's where the real costs explode. Every surface needs blast-resistant materials. Every communication system requires military-grade encryption. Every entrance needs defensive capabilities. The Pentagon's response: cautious optimism mixed with security concerns. Can an aircraft built for luxury be transformed into a fortress? The engineering challenges alone are staggering. Meanwhile, taxpayers are asking the obvious question: why spend $4.7 billion on new planes when a $400 million gift could solve the problem? Russia's mysterious powerhouse, Putin's IL-96 300PU, the silent threat. No promotional videos, no interior tours, no press releases. Just a code name and rumors that keep NATO intelligence awake at night. Cost estimates range from $70 million to $550 million. Why such a massive range? Because everything about this aircraft is classified at levels that make state secrets look like public information. Here's what we know, and it's terrifying. The aircraft doesn't use Western technology. No Boeing parts, no Airbus components. Everything built inside Russian borders with technology the West has never seen. Putin's message is crystal clear. We don't need your approval, your parts, or your permission. Intelligence sources suggest the interior contains an emergency war room capable of coordinating military operations across 11 time zones. Armored bedrooms that can survive direct missile hits. Communication systems completely isolated from global networks to prevent any form of espionage or hacking. The most chilling part, multiple identical aircraft exist. When Putin travels, several identical planes take off simultaneously from different locations. Intelligence agencies never know which one actually carries the Russian president. It's psychological warfare at 40,000 feet. But here's what keeps Western leaders nervous. This isn't just about luxury or security. It's about projecting power through absolute mystery. While America showcases its capabilities, Russia operates in shadows so deep that even satellite surveillance provides limited intelligence. The aircraft's defensive capabilities remain completely unknown. Yet while Russia chooses invisibility, other nations take completely different approaches. Some use their presidential aircraft as diplomatic weapons, turning luxury into international influence. The diplomatic gift, War Turkey, received the ultimate diplomatic gift. $500 million worth of flying palace, delivered with a bow and a geopolitical agenda. Qatar's Boeing 747-8. I previously belonged to their Emir. 76 meters of royal engineering, modified for presidential use. But this wasn't charity. This was strategic investment disguised as generosity. The timing tells the story. Turkey's economy was collapsing, inflation soaring, citizens struggling to afford basic necessities. Then suddenly their president steps off a $500 million aircraft. The public reaction? Explosive. Turkish citizens erupted in anger. "We're cutting electricity while our leaders fly on golden wings," they shouted. Opposition parties demanded investigations. Media outlets called it luxury diplomacy at taxpayers' expense. But supporters saw something different, a symbol of Turkey's rising global influence. To them, this aircraft represented Turkey's rightful place among world powers, a nation that deserves respect and recognition. The aircraft itself is breathtaking. Qatar's calculation was brilliant. For $500 million, they purchased influence over a strategic NATO member, access to European markets, and an ally in regional conflicts. The aircraft became a golden chain connecting Ankara to Doha. But the real cost wasn't measured in dollars, it was measured in public trust. Turkish citizens watched their leader emerge from luxury while they struggled with poverty. Asia's rising powers, India's Air India. One symbol of ascent. $560 million invested in a message that echoes across 3 continents. India has awakened, and it rises without asking permission. This Boeing 777-300ER represents more than transportation. It's a declaration of arrival on the global stage. Strategy rooms lined with handcrafted wood by traditional Indian artisans. Prime ministerial suites rich with cultural identity. Every detail represents the meeting point between ancient civilization and cutting-edge technology. The emotional significance runs deeper than specifications. For a nation of 1.4 billion people, this aircraft carries the dreams of every citizen who remembers when India was dismissed as a developing country. Now their prime minister flies across Europe while world leaders wait below, knowing India's voice cannot be ignored. But here's where Asia gets truly fascinating. China chose a completely different strategy. Deception over display, mystery over messages. Nobody knows which aircraft carries President Xi Jinping. Intelligence agencies track over 10 identical presidential planes taking off simultaneously from multiple locations. Some are decoys, some carry government officials, but only one carries actual power, and nobody can tell which one. This isn't accidental, it's psychological warfare perfected. While other nations showcase their capabilities, China creates uncertainty that makes enemies guess and allies nervous. Real power doesn't need to appear, it just needs to make others wonder where it might strike next. India announces its arrival with pride. China operates in shadows that make detection impossible. Both strategies work because they match each nation's philosophy of power. But while Asia chooses between pride and mystery, Europe takes a third approach entirely. European restraint versus Middle Eastern opulence. Germany's Airbus A350. European class without the flash. No gold plating, no luxury bedrooms, but discreet yet formidable electronic security systems that make intelligence agencies envious. This represents European philosophy perfectly. Engineering civilization over emotional display, NATO-style conference rooms, cold leather executive seats, cyber attack defense systems functioning even mid-flight. Germany doesn't need to show off because they know the world is watching anyway. France follows similar principles. Their Airbus A330 carries classified military technology, radar jamming devices, remote command capabilities. Not to flaunt power, but to be ready to lead international operations while crossing the Atlantic. But then we have the scandal stories that expose the dark side of presidential aviation. Egypt's Falcon 7X controversy erupted during their worst economic crisis in decades. $300 million for a gold-plated cabin while citizens lined up for government rice. The image of their president emerging from luxury while people banged empty pots in hunger became a global symbol of leadership disconnect. South Korea chose the opposite approach. Their president doesn't own a private jet. The government rents commercial aircraft fitted only with essential security. No gold plating, no red carpets, no gifts from foreign powers. Just minimalist meeting rooms, black leather seats, and tablets for mission control. The contrast is brutal. One flies for image, the other flies for strategy. One projects power, the other demonstrates responsibility. The emerging players, Southeast Asia entered the presidential aviation game with ambition that surprised established powers. Indonesia invested in a Boeing 777-300ER upgraded to near US presidential standards. Their message? We're ready for the global stage. Secure communications, private medical units, mini war rooms. Indonesia isn't requesting respect. They're demanding it through engineering excellence. Bangladesh isn't far behind. Their Dreamliner is more modest, but it carries something greater than comfort, the desire to be heard. No gold trim, no marble conference tables, but one crucial element that money cannot buy. Belief. Japan's silent precision. Japanese Air Force One. Power without noise. Tokyo doesn't fly to show off. They fly to preserve order. No gold-plated bathrooms, no king-sized beds, but integrated military radar systems that make intelligence agencies nervous. Cyber intrusion countermeasures developed with their National Security Bureau. Communication systems that maintain command even if Tokyo comes under attack. This is power built on precision, silence, and the ability to decide with just a nod. While the world paints jets in gold, Japan chose a different philosophy entirely. True class never has to speak. Their aircraft embodies everything Japanese culture represents. Efficiency over excess, substance over style, capability over comfort. When Japanese leadership travels, they carry technology so advanced that other nations spend years trying to reverse engineer basic components. The ultimate Japanese power move, making their capabilities look effortless while competitors struggle with basic functionality. Other nations announce their strength through luxury displays. Japan demonstrates strength through technological superiority that speaks for itself. What do presidential jets really represent? Power or pride? Security or spectacle? National strength or leadership indulgence? The numbers tell a brutal story. America, $4.7 billion for 2 aircraft. Russia, up to $550 million for mystery and fear. Turkey, $500 million gift with diplomatic strings attached. India, $560 million for cultural pride and global respect. But costs only tell part of the story. Presidential aircraft have become flying manifestos of national character. Some countries choose silence, others choose shine. Some speak through opulence, others through restraint. The real question isn't which aircraft costs most, it's which approach serves citizens best. Does a $4.7 billion flying fortress make Americans safer, or does it make defense contractors richer? Does Qatar's $500 million gift to Turkey represent friendship or purchase of influence? Every presidential aircraft carries the fingerprint of power, but whose power? The nation's or the leaders'? When wheels touch tarmac and world leaders emerge, what message echoes across international headlines? Strength through security or strength through excess? Capability through technology or capability through intimidation? These aircraft represent more than transportation. They're flying symbols of national priorities. Every bolt, every panel, every takeoff carries weight beyond physics. They carry the dreams and judgments of entire populations, watching their leaders fly above problems that remain unsolved below. In an age where every gaze can come from satellites, presidential jets have become global theater.